And I said, what should I do with it? He said, this is a speech, a remark I want to make. I want you to edit it. Read it and tell me whether the English is correct. So I read it and I said, it is okay. He said, are you sure? And I said, yes. And he read it. From there, I said, let's go home. And we came home. Senator Prince Johnson never ceased to call me at 9, 10 o'clock every night. When I missed his call, he would call me the following night, 9, 10 o'clock, to tell me why he was calling me. And every time I gave him my opinion, he would say, you are the educated one. If you say so, I believe you. I will support it. He always believed me, and he always supported my response to his concerns. Senator Prince Johnson came to this country as a former warlord, but he opened a church. And he started preaching for the past 20 years. Why was he preaching? Did anybody ask that question? Why was he preaching? He was preaching for redemption. He was preaching for forgiveness for 20 years. Those of you who relate to the Bible every day, what did God tell you about forgiveness? How many times should you pray for forgiveness from God before he should forgive you? That Prince Johnson will pray for 20 years that he cannot be forgiven by you, the ordinary people of Liberia. Senator Prince Johnson prayed for 20 years. He always wanted to buy time to pray and to serve his people. So every time a presidential candidate came, and he would go and say, I will make you president, but I want you to buy me time. He did that with President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And President Sirleaf, at the time that there were 15,000 UN soldiers in this country, that she had the opportunity to execute war crime, and she said to him, when you make me president, I will buy you time. And he went from village to village to campaign for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to be president because he wanted time. President Johnson became president, and she bought him time for 12 years. People went to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and they said, why aren't you bringing war crime court? He said, look at the country. Nobody is talking about war crime. People are worried about the next daily bread. They worry about their children going to school. They worry about hospitals. So Prince Johnson bought time for 12 years. And when Ellen Johnson left power, President Weah came, and his program, Pro-Po, and he went and said, if that is Pro-Po, then I think that's the man I can talk to. I need to buy some time. He went to President Weah and said, I'll make you president. I want to buy time to serve my people. And President Weah said, when you make me president, I will buy you time. He got out into Nimba County in Liberia. He campaigned. And President Weah became president. And when the citizens asked President Weah said, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came here and spent 12 years and did not bring war crime court. I am not bringing war crime court. Senator Johnson enjoyed 6 years building schools and relating to his people. When President Weah's time ended, he heard about rescue mission. He said, I'm not going to support you. I'm going to go to rescue because I want to be rescued. He went to rescue and did more than what he did for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Weir. He produced a vice president and produced a president simultaneously. And he was promised time. But when the time came, the time that was promised him was never given. Senator Johnson was troubled. Senator Johnson was troubled. He called me 10 o'clock in the night. And he said, distinguished. And I said, my brother. Every time he calls me distinguished. And I will respond and say, my brother. What is the problem? He said, I'm troubled. I was promised time. I was not given time. And now we're talking about World Crown Court. And I said to him, when they touch you, they will touch me. Nobody will prosecute you. He said, are you sure? And I said, go and sleep. The following 2-3 days, he called me. Every week, Senator Johnson will call me 2-3 times. Around 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I was always say to him, you will not be prosecuted. And at one point, he went out when the children were interviewing him. And at this time, I believe the press was bombarding him with interviews and things were out of control. And he called me. And I said to him, touch one, touch all. And he went to the press the next day and he said on radio, touch one, touch all. Then I called him the following day. I said, you don't have to say that. It is understood. There are 106,000 ex-combatants in this country. Most of whom are in AFL, EPS, DAL, whatever, immigration, motorbike riders, taxi drivers, 106,000. You will not be prosecuted. Every hand in this country has a blood stain, and you will not be singled out. When will Senator Johnson be forgiven? There was a resolution that came from the House of Representatives where the representatives signed a resolution for World Crown Court, and that resolution was sent to the House of Senate. And we rushed that resolution, and we signed it in the absence of Senator Johnson. He was not in chambers at that time. The following day, he came to work, and he met us going up and down with that resolution. 28 of us have already signed. Some of my colleagues from the southeastern region refused to sign. If Thomas Yaya Nimely doesn't sign, I will not sign. And I went to them and I said, go and sign. I'm going to sign it. I am receiving your paper here that is telling me time. That man lying is my brother. Don't give me time. So, we signed the document. Senator Johnson came to work that morning, and one of the senators told him that all the senators have already signed the resolution. And he said he asked a question. He said, did Senator Nimely sign? And they said, yes. I was sitting right behind him. He never saw me because he was concerned. And they said, yes, Senator Nimely signed. He grabbed the paper, he checked the paper. I thought he was going to tear it. And he signed. When he went home at 10 o'clock, he called me. He said, "Distinguished, why did you sign the document?" I did not have an answer for him. And I said, "You signed?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Leave it. Let it go. You will not be prosecuted." Today, we have come to another level. Senator Johnson passed away. When he died, there was a lady that had a dream from Nimba County. And this lady dreamed and saw Senator Johnson on the hill, sitting in a chair laughing. Below that hill was a creek with clean water. And he was laughing out loud. And the lady said to him, "Senator Johnson, why are you laughing? You are dead." And he said, "I'm laughing because of what my sister did behind me. What I told her to do is not what she did." And then he raised a red flag issue that I'm not going to mention. I never called the sister, neither did I call any family members, because I thought it was just a dream. The following day, a red flag was raised by him. So I ran to my phone and I called his daughter, Deba. And I said, "Deba, do you have Senator Prince Johnson has a sister by the name of Martha?" She said yes. And I narrated the dream. And Martha yelled, Deba yelled and said, "Martha is sitting right by me." And I said, "Give her the phone." Gave Martha the phone. I said, "Are you Martha? Senator Johnson mentioned you in his dream. These were the things that you discussed with him. He discussed with you." And she said, "Yes, we did have those discussions." Ladies and gentlemen, Prince Johnson believes in Thomas Yaya Nimely. He wanted to do something, but he never had a chance to complete it. And so today, I have come from Grand Gedeh. I believe that Senator Prince Johnson wanted to see a genuine relationship between Grand Gedeh and Nimba County. I take this time to ask the leaders and the elders of Nimba County to please stand. And those from Grand Gedeh County, please stand. Senator Prince Johnson wants to see a genuine relationship. The relationship between him and I is now losing. The end of that link has dropped in Nimba County. And I'm holding on to mine. So I come to you today, the elders and leaders and citizens of Nimba County. I want to take this link to tie onto Nimba. And the link from Grand Gedeh that is on my waist now, I want to loosen it and tie up to Grand Gedeh. It is about time. 35 years ago, Grand Gedeh and Nimba, prior to 1964, we were brothers and sisters. Now today we have Grand Gedeh in Nimba County. And today we have Nimba County in Grand Gedeh. But we as leaders of these two counties have not had the guts to be able to meet and reconcile. So I urge you, but I want to remind you, the relationship between Prince Johnson and I was genuine. There were no gossips. There were no flipping. So if we all agree to take this relationship to that level, I challenge you that we should lead a truthful and honest life.